Corinne, you are so incredible.
Okay, good so far. Good so far. No notes.
I can't believe I botched a chance to sleep with the future mayor of NYC.
And
Welcome to Guys We...
hello, listeners, members of planet Earth, members of this Milky Way universe, galaxy. None of those are curse words or obscene. That's great. Welcome to the podcast. We're super happy to have you.
Sorry, I'm stuck in the cord. Okay, that was fun.
It's
Hi.
so little.
Hello.
Hi.
Did we say that? Did we? Oh, you said the part that you can't say.
Yeah, welcome to Guys.
It's the anti-slut shaming podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show.
If you want to email us, SorryAboutLastNightShow@gmail.com, baby. But before you do that, go to CorinneFisher.com and donate or sign up to volunteer or read about her platforms or watch her video and follow Corinne Fisher for Mayor on Instagram.
Yeah, right now you probably, hopefully you're not just hearing the news. That means we didn't do our job, but hopefully you know that I am running for mayor of New York City for the 2025 election. If you're not familiar with politics in New York City, we pretty much always elect a Democratic mayor. I would like to knock on wood because you never know what's the right shift.
Yeah.
Which means that the primary that happens on June 24th in New York City is extremely important. Everything is leading up until that. There will be opportunities to volunteer both in New York City and remotely. If you're good at phone banking, if you're good at asking people for money,
honestly,
please.
then you're automatically a volunteer. If you want to call
Where
the
are my
people
sugar
you know,
babies?
yes. Oh, wait. Where are my OnlyFans girls at?
Please.
You making all that money from that ass?
Please.
You could give some to Corinne Fisher. And if you know,
Yeah.
and then if you're OnlyFans bad girl rich bitch, you know other OnlyFans bad girl rich bitches, and I mean, so do we, but they haven't donated yet. So, some
of them have.
Some of them have.
Yeah.
Some of them have.
I'm just assuming by the donations. I'm sure some of them.
Yeah, sure. That's true. I haven't looked at any of the donations. But
Yeah.
If you have money, but then if you want to sign up to volunteer and you live somewhere else, unfortunately, we cannot accept donations from anybody who's not a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
You can be a naturalized citizen. So, like, my boyfriend has a green card. He's a naturalized citizen. He doesn't have a green card. He's a citizen.
No foreign nationals.
No foreign nationals.
Yes.
This
is very important.
Learned what that means.
This is very important. This is, very legal because then the campaign has to take time to refund your donation.
Yeah.
And it creates a whole lot of
slew of
stuff
problems. But
that we got to do. Yeah.
Something that you can do without reaching out to us, without asking us, is if you live in America and you have friends that you would feel comfortable asking if they could donate, because use your own best judgment. Do they have money? Or are they stressed out? If they're in LA and their house got burned down, we let them rest. Okay, we give to their GoFundMe's, whatever. But we cannot hire staff or do anything without these donations. It's illegal for us to contribute to our campaign. Corinne already contributed her max amount, but we kind of are sitting with our thumbs twiddling because we can't do certain things and hire certain people unless we have the donation. So,
and thank you so much to everyone who already donated. Today we're recording this on the day that we announced, and I am truly overwhelmed by. I mean, I get an email every time someone contributes to, and my inbox is exploding. My DMs are exploding. So many shared the announcement video. I think if you, especially if you've been watching with the Out of Country, you specifically have been really kind of following my mental process with figuring out what it is I want to do in politics, or, and me kind of vowing to run for a political office. And then here you see me actually doing it, which is crazy and weird, but here we are, and I'm excited about it. And I'm also excited about how many people with pretty impressive track records in politics are excited and energized by the campaign that Krystyna and I have put together.
Yeah, it seemed like they were all itching to work with somebody who was new and exciting and fun in politics and a fresh new voice. And I mean, you are the literal definition of that. It's really cool to see how also too, a lot of the people that are on our staff so far, I noticed that, I mean, I've never met them before this, but that they feel freer with their language and they can like just have more fun. Like they want to call us because they could say stuff.
They can curse,
and we're not going to be
in our meetings, and we don't care.
Don't say the word titty, sir. I'm a lady. Fuck that. Say whatever you want.
I mean, I believe I used the phrase "fat ass" in a meeting yesterday.
You did, and then we high-fived each other.
We did.
Yeah, Corinne, I think your exact sentence was,
talking about
if I just
myself.
wanted attention, I would just post pictures of my fat ass.
Yeah, which honestly would have been a lot easier. Yeah, we were thinking of political responses to when people would, ask me, is this some kind of a publicity stunt? It is or
not.
Is this a joke?
Look at our eyes. We haven't slept. This is not a stunt.
Yeah, I cannot reiterate enough how much of not a joke this is. And as I said, there's far easier ways to get both money and attention.
Feet, ass,
if
pussy.
you want money or attention, I would not recommend getting into politics.
No.
This is the only thing I've done since December 6th. I literally cannot... I mean, there's so much training. There's so much financial disclosure. There's so much
information,
accounting. There's so many new things you're learning.
You're hiring new people.
People you're meeting.
The second you hire them, you have to keep talking to them every day.
Everyone has an opinion on
true.
how you should present yourself to the world, on the policies that are most important. Please know my entire platform, I got feedback on it, but the platform was created 100% by me because I've lived here for over 20 years in New York City, and I just walked around and used my eyes and my observations.
And you lived your life.
And I, also as a comedian, we have, it's cool because we are visiting multiple boroughs every week. There's been plenty of nights when I was in Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan within the course of a few hours. So I really feel like I understand the pulse of this city in a way that I don't understand. Honestly, even the place that I'm from. Yeah. Originally, I've now lived in New York City longer than I've lived in New Jersey.
Yeah. Can't say that for every mayor.
No.
Can't say that for every mayor. Here's looking at you, Eric.
But it's certainly been a long road to get here, and it'll be an even longer road to the primary. But I'm excited, and it's cool that everybody knows now. I did want to share.
God. I don't have to keep it secret.
I know. God. I am so proud of Krystyna.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Every time I would see her Instagram story, she was just bursting at the seams. I noticed that you haven't stopped tagging me because you just wrote Corinne, and I'm like, oh, she probably doesn't want me to see this.
Yeah, no, I knew you would. I'm just like, I'm not. Just hurry up and get here January 31st.
Yeah, and so I did want to share just 2 text messages I received on announcement day.
Oh, good.
One is an example of how not to be a male friend to your heterosexual female friend.
Listen up, men.
And one is an example of how you should be a friend. Okay. Which one would you like to hear first?
Names,
Krystyna?
How you should be a friend first.
Okay, so how you should be a male heterosexual friend. This award goes to John Campanelli.
Oh, okay.
So, and first of all, I feel bad because my closest friends, I did try to go out of my way to call all of them personally so they didn't hear the news online. I only got to my literal best friend, Paula, last night at 9:30 p.m. and I was worried that was already too late because she has 2 very young children.
Oh, shit. Did you get her on the phone?
I did.
Good.
Bless this woman. I texted her, hey, I was like, I have something really exciting to tell you. Is it okay if I give you a call? And then I was like, I'm not engaged.
She's like, didn't think so.
And she called. I mean, that phone rang so fast that my hand was still on it, and I accidentally declined it because my hand wasn't in the right place.
I was gonna say, knowing you don't send shit like that ever.
I don't. The reaction time, I said,
you don't ever send shit
Paula,
like that.
You've been my best friend since 6th grade, and you're still my best friend. And so she goes, so Paul, I told her immediately, and then she was like, this makes sense. And then she goes, actually, I read about this on Reddit.
Paula goes on Reddit? Well, good for you, girl.
Paula made the mistake of signing up for Google alerts.
Oh, no.
And then started getting all these Reddit threads about me. And now it's like,
my one friend did that. I got, you got it. Then they would relay it to me. Well, don't tell me what people said.
She's been sucked into Reddit. And I was like, wait, they knew I was like, I didn't announce it yet. And then she's like, no, they didn't know you were running for mayor, but they knew that you were going to announce that you were running for a political office. And I was like, okay, well, that's something that I've been teasing for a long time.
Yeah.
And so Paula said, well, she said, I thought that you were going to tell me that you got a TV show. So
no, even better.
I like that she knows me well enough that she knew
career related.
What I would be excited about was career related. And she said, well, if it wasn't that, my second guess would have been engagement, but I like that her first guess was clearly no questions asked. Honestly, career related.
When you tell me you're engaged, if you're ever getting engaged, you're like, oh, by the way, I'm engaged. Anyway, can we go to this episode? Like, I can't even imagine you spending more than 2 seconds on it.
I feel like I would be excited and share that joy with the person.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't know that I would be very excited to tell my friends. Because to me, like, relationships are so between me and the person.
Although I
like them that way.
When my friends have told me they got engaged, I do get really excited.
I was really happy when Paula got engaged.
Yeah.
And so John
Campanelli wins how to be a friend to a straight woman.
Yeah, John wins. He texted me as soon as he saw the announcement, and he lives in LA, so that's even more impressive.
Wow,
because we did
early bird.
We posted this 10 a.m. Eastern time, and he said, "You're amazing, and let me know any way I can help." What a perfect heterosexual male
favor
text message.
Afterwards, didn't give you his opinion.
He said something positive and complimentary.
He offered to help.
Offered assistance.
What?
No notes.
No notes, John Campanelli.
And then followed up with actually connecting me with people that he knows
could actually help.
Who could help and are knowledgeable in the world of politics.
John, good job. Good job. This is what I want to see from you, John. Good job.
I really, really love this. And
who can suck it?
Okay, so I'm not going to name a name.
Can you show me?
It's not a comedian.
Do I know them?
You do. I don't know if you're going to know who it is by their name, though. Let me see. What the hell? Okay, it's not going on, but it's this person.
Oh, yeah, ish.
Okay. So this person,
I don't have a good vibe towards him.
This is not a person I really speak to. It's a person who I saw more regularly in my, so like 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's why. I know exactly. Yeah.
And even that
the establishment.
So it was in a friend group. It was in a friend group that I hung out with regularly 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Have not seen this person in person
over a decade.
Maybe a little more recently, but doesn't like live in the state anymore. Anyway, so
please.
He says, Corinne, you are so incredible.
Okay. Good so far. Good so far. No notes.
I can't believe I botched a chance to sleep with the future mayor of NYC. And then knowing that I might not like that, in the same text offers an alt of the same text, which I've never really seen a text presented in this manner, but he goes, or, semicolon, I'm so happy to be personal friends with the future mayor of NYC. I adore you.
Oh my God. Nothing you say matters after the sleeping thing.
I've since cooled down, but I was so excited and so hyped up with the response to the announcement ad. And like I said,
it's a pretty good response.
We were up really, really late working on this, like down to the wire. I was writing a press release half asleep. I'm texting
I was trying to text you notes. I'm like, I'm faded. I gotta go.
Everything made it on time, but I mean, I was
down to the wire though.
I was doing web copy corrections. Just I wanted everything to be really perfect, right? You know,
because you're gonna get scrutinized when you have eyes on you.
Well, and also, this is my first impression in the political community, right? So I'm already a public figure, but to me, this is different. This is
totally different.
You only get for one first chance, just the same way as like at a when people see you do comedy, you only get one first chance, so you better be pretty good that first time that you have people spend their hard-earned money to come see you.
Yes.
And so I wanted to take this extremely seriously. I'm a perfection, and I also wanted to make sure with issues, like policy, that I was conveying exactly what I wanted to convey, so there was no misinterpretation about anything.
Wise.
And so I was so hyped up. I really was so hyped up. And it went well. And then this, it soured. It disappointed me. It was inappropriate.
It's like sad.
It was, first of all, I do want to just clarify, at no point in my life was having sexual relations with this man ever on the table.
For you.
For me.
Yeah.
And so first of all, it's like weird.
Yeah, it's like your friend that's a brother.
Yeah.
Admitting that he's jerked off to you. You're like,
And it's just reinforces the worst part of men. And I actually wasn't feeling that today. Like, yes, I will say pretty much the only few negative comments were from men, but like, I know where they're from, what universe they're from.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah.
I was expecting it.
Yeah.
And it's fine. You know, the only negative comment I saw from a woman was someone who said, "You're not a New Yorker. You moved here when you were," and then says she was moved here when she was 17. And I'm like, please look up the dictionary definition of a New Yorker. The definition is a native or an inhabitant of New York.
Oh, okay.
So I am a New Yorker.
I love that for you.
But again,
also I mean, yeah.
I knew people would do that, you know, to do it.
Well, because you've always, without intention, triggered other people's insecurities without trying at all, just being you. And yes, of course, that doing something so bold that most people, including myself, do not have the balls to fucking do. I am not interested in running for office in any way ever. So it takes a certain person, and I feel like if you have a hatred towards yourself, you're going to take that potential admiration for somebody doing something so fucking bold and brave, and just take it personally.
Well,
so, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like, and I was just excited, and I felt like people. You know, I do sometimes have a problem with how I am perceived. Not a personal problem with it, but I'm like, sometimes I feel like there's a miscommunication or.
Yeah, it gets in the way. People project onto you. And it's like,
but in this announcement, I'm like, I really felt like I genuinely really want to work hard to make this city a better place for everybody. And I felt like that came across and people responded to it. And were like.
So you felt seen for who you are.
They were like, yes, let's do this. And I love that. And we want more people who are like, yeah, I don't want to run for office.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
But I'll gladly support someone who's going to, you know,
who's going to do the hard
throw
work
themselves
for us.
to the throw herself to the wolves because she's, in the words of my brother, a psychopath. My brother's very supportive, but he did say that. I was just like,
I mean, it is a batshit crazy thing, but
I acknowledge that.
It also makes so much sense.
I can only imagine if I was my older sister. I can only imagine.
I was related to you, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense.
No, my brother's so sweet. He like posted on Instagram and he was like, way to go. Like, let's go, sis.
Oh, that's cute.
And then gave me all this other information and contributed and everything. And so, yeah, I just was getting so angry because it was reinforcing all these things, these negative things that we talk about in relationship to men, heterosexual men on this podcast. And I was like, even on an announcement day, a day where I am announcing my candidacy for public office, this person had to, number one, try to still get in a door that has never been open. Mm-hmm. It's been locked, bolted shut.
There's 3 doors together.
And
you know the Nosferatu dungeon? That's one of the doors.
And secondly, like, just reminding me in an indirect, direct way that the only reason I am still in his life, and I have tried not to be. I'm going to block him after this. I just don't know if I should say something or if I should not say something, is because he is still holding on to a what if that was never a what if on my end.
It was never mutual.
And it was really disappointing. And I know I have to get better at, like, you know, just one thing not affecting me. And this did not sour the day or anything, but like,
especially because you were getting this amazing reaction.
It made this just something about this. And also because I've done a really good job of cutting men like this out of my life.
Yeah, right.
So it feels, so
it's
one
like extra
snuck
slimy.
in.
Yeah. And I do know who this person is, and I think slimely of them. Like, I think they are a slimy person. Before you would have shown me that, just their name, I'm like, oh, I remember
it's a person
being at a Halloween party with that person ages ago. Yeah. I know exactly what you were talking about. I didn't fucking like him then either.
Yeah, this is a person who, there's another instance of of our mutual friend who is now married, but she has this story where she like went out to dinner with him and she's like, oh, I didn't know this was a date. And like, he thought it was like a whole date. Like, so it's been going on.
Yeah. He's probably, faking incompetence. So
yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. It pissed you off.
I think there was just something specifically, triggering, quite honestly, to me about Even a woman, on the day that she is announcing she is running for mayor of New York City, still has to deal with the guys who are still wondering if they ever had a shot. And that, I guess that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I didn't think that poorly.
That's bolder than you running for mayor. Well, I think
I really didn't.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's a type of guy that's like a tiny chunk, but that tiny chunk is so gross. And they make me disappointed in humanity if you get too wrapped up in their world and their thoughts. And that's why you have to keep them at a distance.
Yeah. And so I wanted to share that because throughout this process, one thing that I really think is important and that I want to do and that I've talked to Krystyna about and that we will be doing is sharing the process of running for public office.
Yeah. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. I want a lot of transparency because I want anyone who watches this show, specifically young women, but not, it doesn't have to be young. I'm not, I mean, in politics, I'm young, but I'm not young.
I know.
In
Isn't
life.
that crazy? We're young ladies.
To see what it takes to run for office. And my hope is that it makes it less scary when you see someone else doing it. And
I think
you
this is a big pivot.
Understand what goes into it. And obviously, it doesn't have to be something like the mayor of New York. It can be, and mayor in many places is a smaller and more local office that I think, throw your hat in the ring.
Absolutely.
If you live in a town, even I think of where I'm from,
you can affect change.
Town of like 58,000, even run for mayor.
Yeah,
do it.
The mayor dictates the budget.
Yeah, a lot of times people just keep getting reelected because no one's challenging them. I'm not recommending that you challenge someone who you think is doing a good job just to say, "Ha ha, I'm the mayor."
Yeah, don't do that.
But if
what are you in Portlandia?
But if people are not doing a good job and they're not being challenge them. Even if you don't win, you're going to make everyone in your community think, you know what, we should be keeping an eye on this person.
Yes,
a little bit more. And I'm glad you challenge them. And I think you'll really gain the respect of the people around you.
We are living in such and I can say this for certainty, even though I'm only 36 and I've only been in the world that long, and this is the only lifetime that I have any fucking recollection of. We are living in a world where we had the first midair collision in our aviation airspace, and the president who runs our country blamed it on the FAA hiring people that have things like dwarfism and missing limbs. And that's not a joke. Like, I have a friend, Jordan, who lives in Bali, and she does not watch the news at all. She's only on Instagram to post. She's amazing. She's got Planet Butter. Go follow her with an I in the planet. But I'll Zoom with her every 2 weeks and I'll tell her what's going on and we'll cry laughing because I hear myself saying it.
It sounds made up.
It sounds so made up.
Yeah.
I haven't told her about the whole him going on the rant about like dwarfism and missing limbs and psychiatric
well, I think he blamed it on DEI, and then I think everyone got so angry at him for racism that he's like, no, I didn't mean different races. I meant
different heights.
I meant people with physical disabilities. And you're like, oh,
that's
okay.
Also really bad. Like, I mean, it's just, and I'm not.
Oh my God.
You think he's not going to say more stuff to shock you, and then he does. So now I've prepared myself of like, this is just going to be the 4 years. Is that? But I think you are, and I know this is a bold thing to say, but we in a bold space right now. I think you are going to make a permanent dent in how politics goes in the future because we need actual people running the country because there's so many Americans in this country that are amazing. Amazing Americans who voted for Trump and amazing Americans that voted for Kamala because let me tell you, we've been sold on a lie that we're too different. We are not. We want the same things. We want to feel seen and heard and respected. We want to earn a living so that we don't have to fucking stress out. We want to have a nice life. We want to have and you deserve that. You deserve a nice life. Every single person deserves a nice life. So, and an opportunity to get a nice life for themselves. So I really think
I want a difficult life. So I'm going to, something about, I like having a difficult life. So
yeah, you really do. Thank God.
But I want you guys to enjoy your nice life. But just don't chastise me for wanting to lead a difficult life and not want a nice life.
Now
that's all I ask.
When you used to say I don't like having fun, and I would always go, "What? Yeah, you do." But now I get it.
To me, this is fun. To me, learning how to run for mayor and doing it, and it is fun. This is the most fun I've had in a
I'm fascinated by this whole process. I feel like we're in Veep. I fucking love the show Veep on HBO or Showtime for HBO. It's a great fucking show. But I feel like it's Veep now. Yeah. Like we're having the almost like identical conversations, and we could talk how we want to talk, and I think that's inviting members of our staff to do the same who feel comfortable with that. But like, I just think so
much. There should be no reason that someone should feel threatened that they can't run for office because they don't have experience. The only experience you need is understanding the place that you want to govern and having a vision for how that place can be better. I really believe that.
And I think that the pivot we're making is also going to eventually make everybody realize that kindness isn't weak. Caring for somebody's well-being, caring for any minority group, whether that be economical, racial, disability, any of that is not weak. You're not a pussy ass bitch for caring about people.
That's actually my campaign motto.
I'll take a percentage of the funds. But like it seems like that's the message that's getting put across is like, because I think we all have been sold this illusion that we don't have enough room to care about everything, but it doesn't take as much mental fortitude to like, show up for a cause that we believe in, whether it's donating your time or your money or spreading the word.
Well, I think we've made a mistake as a society that we have to either care about nothing or care about everything.
True.
And caring about everything will push you to exhaustion. And I think this is really a criticism I actually have for the left. And again, I'm a Democrat. I'm running for the Democratic Party, but I have a lot of criticisms for the left, and I think we need to rebrand. And this is not just me. This is anyone who cares about the future of the Democratic Party knows this. But I think on the left, we have convinced ourselves that we have to come down hard on anyone who's not caring about everything. And that has led us to the place that we are in now.
You can't yell at somebody because they're not a vegetarian. Like we gotta stop with that.
You can't.
But you can live your truth and stand up for everybody has causes that they care about, and that's how it should be. Yeah. Like my causes that I care about are different from Corinne's causes. Good, because if we all had the same cause, then all the other causes will get left in the dust.
That's true.
Let's go to these emails.
This email, it says, why can men never think of safety from a woman's perspective? Hi, Corinne and Krystyna, longtime fucker here. I'll get right into it. I am a single 30-year-old female. I'll call myself Sarah. I bought a single family home in 2022 and renovated it so that the basement is a second unit.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
It has its own entrance and everything.
Oh, that's so nice.
The only shared spaces with the upstairs unit is the backyard, and there is a shared laundry room also in the basement. I've been renting out both the upstairs and downstairs until the past year or so, but I decided to move into the upstairs unit recently.
Good for you, girl.
The tenant that lives in the downstairs unit, we'll call him Zach, renewed his lease, so he will be there until summer 2025.
Uh-oh.
He's been there since summer 2023. He's a single 34-year-old man.
Okay.
He is a good tenant. He pays his rent on time and is quiet. He's a chef at an Italian restaurant and has brought me and previous tenants food on occasion.
That's very nice.
There have been a few weird things here and there, however. For example, one time I had found out he installed his own security cameras on the house without asking me. Like the exterior, that just feels like a man move, but okay. When I asked about it, he said he was just a little paranoid because he was a veteran with PTSD.
Oh,
understandable. Okay. But I feel like he should have asked first. Yeah, he should have asked. But
but I also get him freaking out and just doing it.
Recently, I was relaxing on my deck and had to re-angle the camera he installed because I felt like it was pointing directly at me.
That's not good.
That's weird. One time he
can't
called,
blame that on the PTSD.
Yeah. One time he called me, and when I didn't answer, he texted and said he was just calling to wish me happy holidays.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever called a landlord for anything, yet alone just to say happy holidays. I mean, I love saying happy holidays and happy new year to everybody. It's one of my favorite
I do too. I get so giddy.
Joys.
Yeah. I love texting people
happy new year.
I love it.
I love
I don't even care if they ever text me back. Don't matter. I just love spreading the joy.
I love a happy new year. Yeah. Another time he told me he liked my Christmas tree, and when I asked if he was getting one, he laughed and said, I work for the mob, Sarah. I'm not getting a Christmas tree.
Okay, that's a little weird.
What?
It's a little strange.
It very well could have been just a joke, but there are a lot of reports about the mafia being associated with Italian restaurants in the area I'm in.
Oh, wait, that explains the security cameras.
Yeah, but
oh shit.
Italians we love Christmas trees. Italians love Christmas trees.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, that I don't know about. But if he's joking that he's in the mob and he installed security cameras, maybe he's in the mob.
I'm probably overthinking it, but what finally brought me here to type up this email is the text that I got from him today. He said, "Hey, Sarah, are you working tomorrow night? One of these nights, if you are free and up for it, I was informed about a cool place to check out." I mean, he's trying to ask you on a date.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone around here, and maybe you wouldn't mind accompanying.
Yeah, but you've lived there for over a year. You don't know anybody? How come you don't know anybody at the Italian restaurant? Now I'm a little sus.
Well, men don't make friends a lot of times. That's
their problem.
But because I think they like
don't know how.
That's why they ask women out a lot. I think because they're like, oh, it's kind of like a friendship, but I could get more.
Oh yeah.
And they're not wrong.
I get it. Well, sometimes too, it's more comfortable going to the opposite sex to like hang out for some reason. Like it's just, even if you don't want to hook up with that person, it's just like, I don't know. This is what we're supposed to do. So that's why a lot of guy friends.
I'm confused because he's lived in the area at least since 2023 when he moved into my house. But on the application he filled out, it also said he owned a home in the area since 2020 that he had sold recently. So maybe he's just lonely, but saying he doesn't know anyone in the area struck me as odd. It also just frustrates me that men don't have to ever think about safety like we do as women.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that.
How can you not see that living alone as a single female, being asked out by the man that lives below me, might make a gal a bit uncomfortable?
I wish we lived in a world where that was the case. And some of the best men I know also might have done that faux pas too. And
I wouldn't even want a male tenant, to be honest.
No, I would never get a male tenant. But that nothing bad for you, person who wrote us that you did. I get it. Like especially too if you meet him and you're like, oh, this guy seems nice. I could. Yeah, I mean, I've had a male roommate, but I knew him, and I had a crush on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, that being said, I had 3 male roommates that I didn't know, but I just really wanted that apartment. And
it was a really good apartment.
And for some reason, we interviewed so many women, but only men were receptive to the apartment because it was not like cozy.
Factory-like?
Yeah, it was industrial.
Honestly, that was one of the best apartments I've ever been in.
Yeah, it was wild. I already have anxiety about living alone as it is, which is my fault for listening to too many true crime podcasts. But now
you're a woman in the world. We get it. We get it.
But now I have to worry about my tenant retaliating for rejecting him or not having the mob on my side. LOL. I mean,
we don't know that for sure.
Did he react in a way that was?
He could just be just a little weird.
Yeah,
I know guys that are innocently weird.
Yeah, you could just say like.
And at first I was freaked out by them, and then I just realized, oh, you're like a sweetie, but you're weird. Okay, man, maybe he does want to fuck. He's a man, you're a woman. Maybe he does want, but it's every guy. You could just like say like, hey, I just like make it. I just set a rule for myself that when I became a landlord, that I wasn't gonna really interact socially with my tenants. I just think it's a gray area, and I'd like to not make things confusing. Sure. That's fair. And take note of how he responds. Yeah. And maybe he is just asking me out platonically, but then I think no grown man wants to be your friend. Correct. I don't think he's asking out. Platonically, yeah. I've already decided I'm going to text him back and say something along the lines of, thank you for thinking of me, but I like to keep a strictly professional relationship with all of my tenants. Girl. I hope you understand. You clearly have listened to us. Beautiful. But my question is, am I being an asshole? No. Am I overthinking it? Am I you correct have a spidey sense that he's been being inappropriate? Am I gaslighting myself? I don't know that he's being appropriate, but I don't think he really fully thought this through. Yeah. Right? Like, I don't, that's a man move. I think perhaps because I'm guessing you're, both the same age, that he's not thinking. So he thinks of the relationship differently. Yeah. Like if the landlord was a guy his age, I could see him also asking a world where he would ask that guy out to go to this place. Like, hey, dude, you want to grab a few beers? Absolutely. Yeah. I think of my home personal space as sacred, and feeling comfortable and safe in my own house is important to me. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't get a male tenant. Even if it was like your roommate, I would recommend not having sex with that person. It's just a muddy area, and I do agree in keeping your space sacred. Lesson learned not to rent out to a single man again in the future. Go. Yeah. Which, not to say this guy's bad, because I don't know. I don't think so. But also a man can become single at any time. You can't really control that 24/7. Yeah. But in the meantime, how do I move forward with the situation? There's a lot of time between now and summer 2025. Thanks for any advice and all. Have friends over. And for all that you do. Have friends over to your part of the house and just have a community of people where you hang out. But also, the guy, she didn't even, as of writing this email, she didn't even text the boundary to the guy. So hopefully the guy just responds with, okay, I understand. Yeah, which is totally possible. Yeah, I don't think as long as he responds in a rational way, no red flags. You don't have to do anything differently than what you've been doing. And I'm also curious, the camera thing was where did he put the camera? Was it outside of the entrance to his unit? Yeah. But then does people come over a lot? You know what I'm saying?
And like, was it pointing towards you because it's a motion sensor camera?
Right, exactly, which it
or
could
because
be.
he's in the basement like...
like Dr. Evil?
Yeah. You know?
I don't know.
Where does the feed go for the security camera? You're the landlord. You should have access to the feed. Oh. Or does the security company actually, I think, has access to the feed?
Well, I think it's like a Ring camera. I mean, they'll have access to the feed, but it also goes to whoever owns the camera.
This seems like it's a security camera where it would be for the hired security company. Because it depends. If it's a Ring camera, yes, it goes to the owner. Security, like you can actually have a hired company that is watching, that is surveying it.
Wow.
That's more like what you would do. No, that's like, no, you would do, you could do for a business or a home.
See, I'm trying to buy a house in the woods soon and I want security cameras everywhere, but that's just so I can see the animal interactions.
So then you should get like ones on the ground with motion sensors and you can see like a little gopher eating.
Or any like ghosts or whatever. I don't know. Who fucking knows? You know, catching a comet. Who knows? There's so much shit that can happen in the woods. So many mystical creatures.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm like, there is a world where maybe he just wants to see the squirrels, but that's probably unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you set the boundary.
Yeah.
Hopefully you set the boundary. You're not overthinking it too, because it's a little weird. It's one of those things where if you're a woman and the situation involves a straight man and it's possible that some elements could be weird, but you just don't know, statistically speaking, it's safer for the woman to go, I'm going to keep a little bit of a distance. That doesn't mean that this guy has any ill intentions, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's just a sweetie, you know? Guys, I don't have my solo podcast anymore, but I do still have my Patreon. So unless you can only afford to donate to Corinne's campaign, do that. But if you can also afford both, I have a Patreon where once a week I have group Zoom therapy, which is basically group therapy, but I'm not a licensed therapist. And I lead it for about an hour and a half, and it's really a really cool space to come. You can have dilemmas like these. I'm fucking so good at advice now by this point that I feel like I'm not like channeling when I give you guys advice on these Patreon Zooms, but like stuff comes out of me and I hear it and I'm like, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. We're getting deep. So yeah, patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson is where you can sign up. And if you can't make the actual Zoom, the audio from every single Zoom is recorded and uploaded to the Patreon page for your listening pleasure. And because I don't have my solo podcast anymore, I'm also just using that space to vent about dumb shit. And follow me on Instagram @Krystyna Hutch.
And if you want to stay in touch with the world of national politics, I'm still doing Without a Country podcast every Wednesday. We live stream on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Again, I'll still be covering mostly U.S. news, but we do a little international news. And then I'll probably sprinkle in, for the length of this campaign, a New York City specific story. And we'll talk about what the current government is doing and what the future government will be doing.
Cool.
And I do have a Patreon for that. And thank you so much to all my wackos who contribute, my capitalist pigs, my cuties, and my dictator, Hannah Pendergrass. If you are financially able to continue contributing to the Patreon, I'll continue to bring you those exclusive video news stories every week, patreon.com/without-a-country. But if you have to choose between the campaign and Without a Country, maybe just pause the Patreon, because again, 100%. Every donation matters. And you know, I part of what I wanted to prove in this campaign, there's a lot of things I want to prove, but part of what I also wanted to prove was that, you know, or answer the question, do you need to be a millionaire to run for mayor? That was an article that was printed in a news outlet a couple years ago.
Do you have to promise corrupt people corrupt things to get into office?
Yeah.
I mean, when I learned that the maximum donation, if you're participating in the matching funds campaign, is $2,100, I'm like, so then I wouldn't think you could corrupt people, but I guess there's promises made behind closed doors. That's, I mean, look at Trump. I mean, it's
like endorse. Yeah. That's, I think that comes with it,
like a
with
developer.
Endorsements.
Yeah, right.
And,
I'm also curious, you know, when you endorse a union, obviously you need to genuinely feel excited about what they're doing and want to protect these people and have an understanding of their day-to-day jobs, what they're up against. But then, like, what do they, I'm just curious to learn, like, what do they, expect from you maybe just like more recognition, more eyes on them, maybe.
Sure, yeah. I mean, so far, very few people. I mean, you guys have given me lots of donations without asking for anything, but anyone who I know in real life they've all kind of expected that I'm going to push their policy through, and I'm talking about like just comics, and I'm like,
oh my God,
what?
Oh my God, everyone thinks,
and they were serious about it.
Well, look, everyone is the star of their own life, but like, don't bring that over to Corinne's life. You know what I mean?
Well, but as I run everything, I truly have an idea that, I mean, it's not like we can have a bunch of elections every time we're going to make a decision.
Sure.
And I'm not going to, it's not, everyone doesn't have a say. Yeah, everyone doesn't have a say in everything, but I'm really going to listen to the people.
Yeah, I know you are. I
want to do the things that the people in the city want. It's,
you know what I've been doing too lately? Yeah. I've been acting like a politician. My drum teacher, he has a child in public school. I'm like, hey, what, and I was asking him about his experience with like dealing with New York City public schools. That had me asking other people that I knew that had kids,
right,
in public schools and private schools. And then I'm talking to all my cab drivers. I had the best cab driver from Bangladesh, but he's lived here for 29 years. I had the best conversation with him about his rent and how his rent has gone from like in 96, $300 for a 2-bedroom to like, he's like, you can't get a 1-bedroom in this area for under $5,000. I'm like, that's insane. It's insane. But you really go like, there is such a need for politics to do good by the people. And it's just not happening. So I'm very excited for
And I'm interested to see how difficult it really is, how many hurdles there are and how many
the checks and balances
kind of, evil video game characters you have to pass at every level.
And I know that you're not even interested in placating anybody that you don't respect or have any.
I'm not in here to be a career politician. I intend on being mayor for 8 years and then going back to being an entertainer.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have a lot of material. Yeah, for sure. But, because I'm still so confused as to how, and I know this is different. It's a country, but it's to be fair. New York City is the largest municipality budget of any city in this country. Why, it's always bothered me why the United States government can fund all these bomber planes, all these aid for foreign countries, which I understand the allyship, and I vaguely understand that. But the fact that we have people in this country that are hungry and can't afford to like take their kid to the doctor, it still blows my mind that we have money and we don't spend money on people.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. And there is, I do understand that as a country you have to maintain relationships with your allies in other countries, and that you don't want to only think nationally. You do want to think globally.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean,
and you don't want other people to suffer. You don't want your allies if you can help them.
The amount of money that we give to other countries to do destructive things.
Yeah, it's not great.
To hurt other people.
When people in our country are suffering.
When people in our country are going to bed hungry or are unhoused, is reprehensible.
And we push
and I truly, I was already thinking just the weight I would feel or will feel when, like, even if something, obviously people are going to die in your city in public spaces, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And then,
especially New York City.
And I was already thinking, like, I am going to have to have like
sit
5
down with
therapists.
Yourself. Yeah. I agree.
Because I am going to
because people are going to blame you for it.
Well, but they can do whatever they want,
but I
feel like I'm going to be like, what could I have done?
Sure.
So that didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like, I know you want to tackle the loneliness epidemic in New York City. New York City is so famously,
and we're all so cool. We should talk to each other.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. But like,
I love talking. I actually love talking to my neighbors, which is what an un-me thing to say.
It is interesting.
I like
also
it.
A sense of community.
I'm always chatting at the dog park.
But that Hudson Yards structure, like the honeycomb structure,
yes,
they had to have a rule that you can't go up without a buddy because people just jumped off and killing themselves. Yeah. And that happens a lot in New York City. My old apartment building, somebody jumped off the roof while I was sitting in the living room and I heard it.
I remember that.
The George Washington Bridge, and this is like, and mental health means so much to me as somebody who grew up in a thunderstorm of mental health not being handled well.
And me, as a lot of my friends have killed themselves.
Yeah,
I feel
seriously.
I feel like as a soundbite doesn't sound good as a reflection on.
No, it's not. I mean, no, it's not because of you.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That would be narcissistic if I was like, everyone, I'm just like so annoying that everyone did that.
But I think that I think there's a really great opportunity to foster a sense of community, that's one of the best feelings in the entire world. And that's why people join extremist groups. It's because they feel lonely in the basement, and here's a group that will accept them with open arms. That's all anybody wants. We want to be accepted and loved for who we are. And we want to be supportive so we can go after the life we want. And I can't wait for you to live in New York City when Corinne's mayor, because that's going to happen.
Yeah, come move here. Come on. What if it's a city for girls? And actually, okay, so New York City does have, it's like 52, it's like 53% women, right? 50, it goes back and forth, but it's like, it's like 52, 53, but percent women. So we do always have more women here than men. So it is a city for girls.
It's a city for girls. And boys. And they, thems. And transgender, non-binary, all that. Obviously, it's a fucking hub for
that's the coolest thing about New York City. It's a place for everybody. I couldn't wait to move here when I was a teenager. Because I was like, I'm so sick of wearing a mildly interesting outfit.
Yeah.
And everyone their necks falling off because they turned around so fast.
I love this town because you could absolutely scream cry on the streets and everyone's like, it's okay.
Honestly,
I love that.
That's a selling. Maybe we could.
No one looks at you weird.
We could sell it as a tourist destination for those going through something.
Honestly, yeah. Oh, and it's the best city to explore by yourself. Holy shit. But I've cried. I've done so much whack shit in public. Ain't nobody looking at me weird. They're like, whatever you're going through, I've probably been there too. It's okay. It's the best town ever. It's truly the best town.
It'll be our eat, pray, cry. Eat, scream, cry, whatever it is. There's plenty of prayer here. Any religion that you are, you can find a place, a house of worship for your religion.
Can we do a day of screaming if you're mayor?
No.
Where everybody gets up.
That's where we get too far left, Krystyna.
Okay, all right.
That's the kind of stuff.
No, it's just to let it out.
That's too far left.
This is left. It's just getting outraged.
Oh no, there's this is a big screaming. This is like a thing on the far left.
Really?
Yeah, like when a politician you don't like is elected into office, the right waits for us to scream and cry and then shares clips of it.
That's hilarious. Honestly, if I was the right, I would do the same thing.
I was like, this is part of the rebrand.
I'm more
my attitude, who I am naturally is actually I think really good for what the rebrand that the Democratic Party needs, because
I agree.
You need to have empathy, but you can't
be a pussy.
You need to, there needs to be a toughness about the empathy.
Yeah.
It's a hard outer shell and a soft center, which I'll have my boyfriends can come on my ex to tell you about.
Yeah, no, my screaming was more stress induced, not like sadness. But yeah. Also my Kid Mayor campaign is, I'm telling you, it's going to be a hit.
Kid Mayor?
Yeah, Kid Mayor.
Yeah, I know.
Elect a public school kid mayor.
I love getting children
so
more. And I think that will also help, the right loves to talk about how everyone's getting indoctrinated. It's like, what do you think you putting your religious beliefs and your social
taking
beliefs
away books that they can read
and your political beliefs on them is?
Dude.
What do you think that is? That's that. Well, I mean, Kid Mayor is very aligned with my policy about critical thinking programs that I want to introduce into schools.
Yep.
Guys, wackos, read the website. Dude, you're going to love that.
Dude, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's actually very exciting.
We want a future of leaders, not followers. That's how you prevent Donald Trump.
Yeah. And he's not doing a good job. But you know who is doing a good job?
Today's guest.
Yes, she is.
She's
God.
She's great.
She's great. This is her
funny.
It's her second appearance on the show.
Yeah.
I love her. Every time I see her at a comedy club or in a party, I'm just like, thank God. I love her. I love this woman. She has amazing stories. She's a stand-up comedian, and she's lived 1,000 lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tracy Carnazzo.